Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And I suppose I've talked to him a lot about this as well. That first year at the Raw for us, like we actually had 9 of it. So I was in the Aussie under-20 squad a year or two before that. 9 of that under-20s Australian squad actually signed for the Raw. So you look at that and you look at that coach and go, how did you have 9 of the best players in Australia, and basically you let 3 or 4 of them go at the end of the first season and didn't go on, like you had half the Australian team. Like what's gone on there? Yeah. And I think we had a real togetherness, and I've played in a lot of teams and I've been fortunate to be in 2 where you just have that squad, but that was a lot of Queenslanders. Yeah. And for some reason in Queensland, we're very patriotic.
I was going to say, does that make a difference?
Massive. I've talked to many about this, and Danny getting an opportunity, Dylan getting an opportunity. That, with due respect to some of the guys that have come from overseas or interstate, that doesn't get 20 or 30 family members down to the ground. Yeah. That doesn't get that feeling of, man, I want to watch because that Western Pride guy's getting a chance. Yeah. Like, I want to watch again because my buddy Mooney's there.
We said this.
You got that interest.
We're only interested now in A-League because Mooney's there and there's a couple of young lads who you've kind of coached or played against. And all of a sudden the interest's back. They're playing with a little bit more spirit.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think when you got that togetherness, like having a large majority of, say, Queenslanders or at least Aussies in there, you get that little bit of battle back. You get that bit of like, okay, like, we want to support you guys, and like, okay, you might not win the A-League, but we can see that effort, and we know you, and you're getting an extra 50 people down because they know little Jimmy, and then half of Power want to go down because an ex-Power player's there. But I think too, like, again, we don't plan the NPL so that like you can get down to Redcliffe when Brisbane Roar are playing, because half the clubs are playing at the same time.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous to me.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
It's so tough in our market anyway. And then you've got one team in our city, so we're very lucky there. Yeah. Okay, yes, they don't throw bags of money out. And I suppose knowing the Raw, that they haven't done the best in the community in the past. But again, it's from both sides. Like, no one's innocent in it. We don't want to like you because of this, and you want to take out because of this. If we all work together and how somehow we could get more Queenslanders in the Raw team, more Queenslanders to do well in the A-League, more Queenslanders into the Socceroos overseas, that's a together thing. That'll only do better for us. And then again, and it's tough when you don't have the money, but just say you got a Queenslander in the Socceroos and, hey, he's going to come back for a month. Just get him down in front of 20 kids. I remember having Frank Farina come and talk to me, and then for the next 3 years, all I could think about was, man, how do you get to the Socceroos? That dude came and talked to us. Yeah. That dude, I remember being at Lang Park, 13 years old or whatever, seeing pies getting thrown at Croatians at the first grand final up here. Like it was yesterday. Do you know what I mean? I think we're a bit numb to all that kind of stuff because we got Premier League on TV and this and video. We don't have enough of guys coming back down here and just having a chat to a bunch of kids and like, oh, look, he just pinged it on the crossbar. Like, sometimes that sticks with the 10-year-old and gets them to stay in the game or gets them to that next level where we're too worried about, okay, we don't want little Jimmy to go to under 13 training even though he's 12 because, he needs to be playing a number 9 and a 7. It's like all that knowledge is great, and a lot of that is only relevant to a kid at 14, 15 when it looks like he's going to go to the next level. We need to be teaching them, enjoy the game. I think that's a massive part of it. Like, you see I get them now at Mudgeebar under 6s, is like, here's the training plan. It's like, mate, just get them scoring goals.
Yeah, just have
Do you know what I mean? Just show them how to celebrate. I remember a coach teaching us how to slide in the puddle. We don't even play if there's 3 drops of rain anymore. So I think, some of our, we're trying to develop players, but we're taking the fun out of it. We're taking do a crossbar challenge. Like I said, I used to practice for hours trying to hit the corner of a trampoline. I wasn't sitting there going, I've got to be in the number 9 position, and as soon as the ball leaves, I've got to chase that guy. It's more like those little skills. And, there's some good coaches around, no doubt. Yeah. But, I think as a whole, the focus has gone too much to that, technical side of things where just enjoy and, just learn to win, man. Unfortunately, life is harsh. So you're going to lose. And it's okay. Like, that's all right. You can be a sore loser a little bit, but, like, it's okay. It's about getting it done on the park. And that's, to me, that's an enjoyment of sport. Like, if it's the same for everyone, then...
Yeah, it's the same. Like you say, learn to win, but learn to lose as well, and learn how to.
That's a big thing.
How to react to that.
Stop giving everyone a trophy. Like, I remember bawling my eyes out, thinking, "Man, I've got to smash those dudes next year." Do you know what I mean? Where now it's like, it's all good, man.
It's funny, hey, like growing up in junior, like obviously we grew up in Rockhampton, so it's slightly different. But I remember, like the team I played in, we played in every single grand final against these two top teams, and more often than not, we lost. But isn't it funny that you can remember just simple moments of like losing in a penalty shootout and being on the ground like in tears? I don't even think they do penalty shootouts now.
No,
like,
because
it's the draw and everyone they share.
I mean, we hated Brisbane. Like, I know they still do it a little bit, but I hated Brisbane South with a passion. One of my best mates in Scotty, I hated him for 5-6 years because we just wanted to smash Brisbane South as Brisbane North.
Yeah.
And like we finally did it under 16s, and I'll never let him forget that. But like, who cares? But the thing is, like, 4 or 5 years of losing the grand final
makes you burn.
Like, it's just there's that little bit of hunger, and then like when you finally do get the medal, it's like, how freaking good is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because back home, like, if I lost we didn't call them grand final, cup final, both became runners up in the league, I'm pretty sure all them medals got thrown in the bin. I didn't want a runners up medal. My mum and my dad didn't want runners up medals in the house. So my dad would just
don't bother bringing it home.
It's like, what's that worth?
I mean,
but you wanted to win.
Are you wanting to buy business assets or motor vehicles? Do you need experienced business advice in tough times and you're not sure who to trust or talk to? Terry Kirkham, with over 30 years of experience, and his firm Global Business Auctioneers and Valuers with its range of services can help you. Global provides consulting advice on business exit strategies, risk positioning, restructuring and more, business and business asset valuations, and business asset sales through their online auction platform or tender sales. Check Global out at www.globalauctioneers.com and www.globalvaluers.com, or call Terry directly on 1300 557 112 for a chat.
To win.
And I mean, without being hard, like, I know we've got mental health and all that kind of stuff these days, which is great because, like, I've lived in a little bit of the era of like harden up or all that kind of stuff, where I get that, like, we got to be sensitive to feelings and all that kind of stuff as well. But I think the biggest part of that is like, in sport, that whole togetherness, and through, I've got a painting business now with a couple of buddies where a lot of our guys have come from sport backgrounds because it's just the weird ingrained part of you that, like, you want to do a bit better for your teammates. You might work a bit harder when it's going tough because of your teammates. And I think in those environments, like, we've got to, like, yes, let dudes talk about their feelings, and like, yes, we can banter, but at the same time be like, man, like, if you're struggling, it's okay to say. But then at the same time, it's like, in the sporting realm, we've got to go through ups and downs. We can't say that everyone's got to be it's got to be mellow. So, like, not only just on the field, but like, we're sort of numbing it for everyone where, okay, we don't want to upset anyone, or we don't want to this and that. And I think you want to be able to show emotion. Like, some of the best players in the world are what they are because of emotion. Like, apart from the Germans who are freaking robots, like everyone else, like, you need to feel that up and down. So, like, that's losing's part of it. Talking about how you feel is part of it. Bawling in the change room in front of your teammates is all part of it. It's just having that acceptance of, like, that's okay. I think that's part of the coaching that gets missed. Like, you can go to all these courses and look at 1 million PowerPoints and say, what would you do here if you're a man down? But how do you get that one player that won't stop drinking on a Friday night to feel like he carry this team for us? You know what I mean? Or how do you get that one guy that just needs a cuddle to get the best out of this? They don't teach that. They don't give you a little psychology degree on the side. So, like, those are the different coaches that really make a difference, I feel, who they can understand that side of the game. Because you can have 10 guys that all know different formations and what to do at the 70th minute, but if you don't know how to get the best out of your little mate, then you're never going to be a successful coach.
And that's the same in life as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a big thing. I can tell I mean, yes, I've been around soccer, but a lot of the stuff in life has all come from the advice of my coaches. And it's not like, oh, I remember him telling me don't turn in defeat.
Yeah.
It's more like that little conversation you had after a game one time about like when you're balling because you thought you had a terrible game. So, yeah, I think that side of it. And, I mean, it's funny just talking about Lions there. I think they've sort of had the wood over Olympic for a few years there. And, Olympic would argue, oh, but we've been the better team. Again, I think the difference is, well, we know you're a good team, but, like, we'll rough you up. Because you don't like that. And then Lions just kept getting their results until Olympic finally did beat them. But if you look at that record over 2-3 years of Moon versus Khan, like Lions torched them every time. You can argue possession and whatever all you want. At the end of the day, I mean, I didn't really play there. I was involved. I never thought I would be after leaving Strikers, but just a real togetherness of a squad. And, I don't know Olympic or Power or any of those teams per se, but just the trust of your coach, for one, is a big one. That sort of freedom on the park. And also, like, it's okay at times to get a bit rough. It's okay at times to put it in the corner because that's how we're going to win this game. Yeah. And I think on the other scale is when you've got players who are prepared to play for a coach, then they're like, well, yeah, man, if that's what he's saying, I'm going to put a hit on it.
That's what I'll do.
And I think, it's tough when it's just so straight down the line all the time of how we're going to play, tactics. To me, the emotion is a massive part of the game, and that's why I've loved the game. Yeah. As you said, like, I mean, I was at Strikers for however long. I didn't actually play in one of the 7 grand finals they made because I've managed to injure myself every year. But it's those losses, like you said, AIS, losing the grand final on penalties, and I missed the penalty. Like, I still wake up in the middle of the night sometimes going, why didn't I go left? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like 20 years ago. Yeah. But, like, I remember that more so than, a win sometimes. And that's part of the game.
Yeah. So that first year with the Raw, we've seen that a lot of young lads all came together and formed probably as a bond. With the first team that this franchise.
Oh, it was amazing being a part of a inaugural team and one of those. I mean, I was lucky enough to play almost 3 years in the NSL, and I suppose part of the NSL charm was like you didn't really see many games on TV, so like you were literally like, who are we coming up against? Yeah, they got a really Vidma, like and it was everything was like real big challenge. The A-League was a little bit different, obviously new and exciting, and it was amazing. I was actually overseas at the time. I was at Notts County on non-contract, so I was literally only getting paid to play and didn't really know what else to do because there was nothing back here. And I actually got offered from Raw and Mariners, and like I was like, freaking finally get to play in my hometown. Like I was signed for 10 years, just tell me where. And like real togetherness, super competitive bunch, but like just lads off it, you know what I mean? So like we'd have punch-ons and all that kind of stuff, and then 5 seconds later after training, it's like where we're going, who's hanging out. So unfortunately, the coaching situation wasn't awesome then. I think that trust factor, maybe too much ego from old mate Miron. But again, like I think we talked before we started here of that sort of scapegoaty part where I did cop a fair bit from him that year, and luckily just being a speed demon, the crowd sort of enjoyed what I do, and I always gave them all. I think I've always had that respect of my peers. I've never been the best goal scorer or I can kick it over the crossbar for fun, but I've always had that respect of like I'll give everything. And I think that sort of counted against me in some ways where I got picked on a little bit and you start to lose that confidence and a bit of direction, and it was tough because such a good group, and I think off the field they just didn't know finding their feet as well. Like,
were they predominantly all young? I mean, you said there was a lot of
nine of the Aussie under 20 players. Most of the other guys were probably like mid-20s. A couple of older guys came in, and I mean, like if you stuck with that squad, you were almost guaranteed in 2-3 years to win something. I think we missed out on the finals by goal difference, and like we got one of them was the Mariners crept in that year, and literally we got 2 penalties that didn't get given was the difference, you know what I mean? So with some naivety and probably not the best coaching, like we almost made the finals the first year. And like obviously being a part of something so big and so new and big crowds was amazing. You know, bad haircuts and all. But hey, my nana loved my haircut because she was like, well, now I can tell who you are on the TV. But do you know what I mean? Like great memories and just again that naivety of end of the season. Basically got told, look, well, we're trying to sign other players. Like you're not going to play. And I luckily had some contact from Sydney and a few other clubs, and I was like, fuck, man, I've done like so well at times, and then like this guy just keeps picking on me, and also like now they're saying like they want to get rid of me, like you know, you just started feeling like, what's going on? So.
Hey everyone, here today to give a little plug to one of the Subs Bench loyal sponsors, Mr. Mark Cruz from Bank of Queensland, Windsor. Now, Mark is one of the best in the business, and I know this from personal experience as myself, Dusty and Ryan Stenthouse bank our One Short company with Mark. One Short is one of the best clothing labels in the world, and Mark is a big, big part of that. Mark has a lot of upside. One, he's incredibly good looking, and yes, ladies, he is single, and two, he is very professional and very, very good at what he does. So if you, A, want a hot date with Mark, or B, want some great banking advice, please slide into his DMs and get in contact with one of the best bankers in Brisbane today. Cheers.
So, last minute, the Sydney FC deal fell through, which at the time was Pierre Lidbarski, like freaking German legend. I was like, man, this dude, tell me where. And he ended up leaving the club the day I was going there to hopefully speak to him. And he said, look, I'm leaving, but I wouldn't advise going there. So at the time, the only concrete offer I had was New Zealand. I had a couple of opportunities to go overseas, but I was like, fuck, I just need to be playing. Like I just thought I can't risk not getting a contract. But bad move going to New Zealand, like terrible setup, just players that didn't want to, you know, they were just happy to have a shirt. Club was a shambles. I've owed stupid amount of money that I'll never see from there. Having said that, that happened in the NSL. I think that's another side of the game that's probably changing, but still happens where, you know, a couple of, I think 30, 40,000 from the NSL that I'll never see, 90 grand almost from New Zealand that I'll never see, and that doesn't get really talked about. Like I remember guys telling me, oh, don't go overseas, oh, don't go to this country. It's like, mate, this happened to me twice in Australia. Like, what are you on about? So just, confidence got smashed. Just went from getting agents calling me at the Raw every 2 minutes and clubs to like freaking couldn't get anyone to pick up the phone. So, you know, just fell out of love with the game a little bit, didn't know what to do. Had just met my like to be wife at the time. So, you know, there's a lot going on, and I was just like, man, like 4 or 5 years into being full time or pro is like finding out some realities of what it's like. And yeah, man, I mean, dudes were getting their cars repossessed. We were basically forced to play against Melbourne Victory away. Some of the guys said, we're not getting on this plane because, like, we weren't getting paid. And I remember I got read out as one of the players that had to go, and the PFA were like, look, you sort of got to go because if you don't, then you're in breach of your contract. And you're like, they're not paying us, but we're in breach of our contract. Like, And I actually we met 4 players in the change room to play because we didn't have enough players in the A-Leagues. So like a couple of New Zealand geezers, and like then people talk about like, oh, but you didn't do this and that. It's like, mate, we're playing under that kind of stress. And the reason was if we forfeited that game, Victory would have won the league by forfeit. Freaking Fox Sports would have kicked up an absolute stink. Like, cheers, but where's the support for these freaking 18, 19 players here literally getting torn a new one? So, I mean, confidence was smashed. Didn't really want to trial. Ended up dropping back to New South Wales Premier League in Manly. A great club who I actually had been at earlier in my time, and it just didn't work out. Same deal. Like, I was missing home, and freaking I was scared of the soccer ball, to be fair. Like, just confidence absolutely smashed. And then, had the opportunity to go overseas. Gary Mills was at Notts County when I had been there between the NSL, and same deal. Like, I was non-contract trying to sign at County when he got the sack. So I was like, the second the new manager walked in, he literally called me over and said, mate, you're done. Like, kids don't get taught that too much. If you're lucky enough to be a young Socceroo and you get signed to a good club, like, this stuff doesn't really happen. But that other 20-30% that go overseas, I mean, I've slept on floors because I've rocked up to somewhere and there's actually no room for you.
Yeah.
Gaffers basically getting sacked, and the next one literally within like 2 hours, like on the see you out the digs, mate. I was like, what am I going to do now? Back on the phone to Laurie. Actually, mate, I will consider that Mariners deal.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to go to the Raw. So like, yeah, just went over to Tamworth with Gary and was. I mean, I just love soccer. Like, yeah, okay, conference, like, you'd know, man. 1 week you're playing at Blythe Spartans and wish you were anywhere but in the world, and half the pitch is frozen and there's freaking dudes trying to kill you, to, you know, playing at little grounds with 5,000 people on carpet, you know. So I really did love my time at Tamworth, but I really struggled with a foot injury. End of that season, actually, Burton Albion, their gaffer Clough saw me after a game and he was like, man, we'd love for you to come to Burton. And I was like, get me out of Tamworth, get me out of the Lamb as quickly as you can. And I said, look, I am struggling with this foot thing. I just got to get that checked out. Came back to Oz, had some weird break in my life. I couldn't even sleep. It was that sore. I wasn't training, just trying to play over there in the freezing. And ended up being in a moon boot for about 6 months. At the time, signed with Strikers thinking I just need to get fit. And luckily, like, Burton was still sort of keen. And I think third game back from that in Strikers, I tore some weird tendon in my hip. I mean, ever since then I've had, so that one was, I think 16 months out the game, 2 surgeries.
And that's when you came back?
So I was at Strikers then, just trying to get fit to basically go overseas. I think that was about 2009. And then, third game in, tore this tendon, missed 18 months. I think 3 or 4, about 4 weeks back from that, ended up breaking my ankle at work. And, you know, I've had 10 surgeries. I think the last year at Strikers, I ended up having a freaking mini stroke. Yeah. After, I think it was FFA Cup game against Melbourne Heart. And 2 days later, I had like heart surgery. Yeah. So I was like, freaking, what am I doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've got a wife, I've got a young kid, another one on the way. Like, that was, I think, my 8th surgery. Yeah. I was like, just soccer doesn't agree with me anymore.
Put you through the ringer.
So. Yeah. And that's the thing, I love Strikers and ups and downs there. I think for one season I was actually fit. Yeah. Freaking cleaned up the awards. Like, to be fair, Thurtell was injured that season as well, but, you know, one of the better players. But managed to clean up the freaking club awards, and so it made me feel like good again. Like, obviously I had something, but just wasn't happening for me anymore. But 7 or 8 years at Strikers. I think they made 6 grand finals. I think I came on in one, but I missed all the others, and I came on like the 89th minute against Sunny Coast one year, and so, you know, never got to really play in a grand final, but, you know, made some good friends there. Lovely club, but again, like, you know, it's just one of the things. And Mooney, a year after I had not played, the heart surgeon said, look, man, you can go do whatever you want now, which was like, sweet. And Mooney said, we want to come down to Lions for a year, you know, a young team, all this. And I thought, just one more, you know, convince the wife. And I managed, I think, second game in pre-season, ended up doing my knee again, which I've done my ACL, done all this. Yeah, it was just like, I can't. I literally need to put in 4 hours a week just to get my body in a shape to train, to try and play. Yeah. So, I mean, it sort of sucked, but long story short, I enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah. A lot of injuries didn't help. Probably too fast for my own good most of the time. Yeah. But some good stories out of it.
You've done a bit of like sort of the media side of things, like commentating.
Yeah, that's actually been really awesome, eh? So a little bit with ABC Grandstand on the A-League, which, you know, just out of the blue gave us a call one time, and really enjoyed that. And their coverage hasn't been as big through this whole thing, and I actually got a lot of love out of doing that for footy again. You know, sort of started hating it a little bit towards the end, but that's, you know, it's easy to sit up there in the bleachers and give it to guys. But real fun. Like, and I'd probably maybe pursue that more so than trying to get involved with the club. But again, like, very ruthless industry. Yeah, I say enough as it is. Got a bad South African accent, so I don't. And I've never played for Socceroos, so I don't think I'm getting on Fox Sports anytime soon. Yeah, but really fun.
We'll start a petition. We got a bit of pull here at the South.
Yeah, get me down there, mate.
We'll get you sitting next to Bozza.
Yeah, that's it. So
No promises, but
yeah.
We'll do
That was really fun, and they really good there down the ABC. So hopefully they get a few more games next season. But
G'day everyone, Tom Carroll here from Total Compression. As you can tell by the stiffness of your nipples, the weather is a little bit chilly outside. If you fancy to get a hold of any of the Total Compression products, please visit www.totalcompression.com.au and use the coupon code TheSubsBench to receive 10% off any Total Compression product. Cheers, guys.
yeah,
All right, we'll go through your best 11 before we finish up. If you can't, if it's difficult to think of anyone, just
I'll do it mainly. Obviously, guys I've played with. I'm assuming I'm just picking some random 11.
Are we going to go with a 4-3-3?
I'll have to work that out on the run here, but
Coached
I would
by
go
Blyberg.
Big Tommy Willis. Played with a good goalkeeper at Northern Spirit in Henderson as well, actually. But I'll go with Tommy Willis in goal because he could freaking
pick for
MPL.
Yeah,
he could ping a drop kick, and I used to love it being a whippet of like just hit the channels and he'd catch it on a corner and just put it in the area and you just leg it onto it.
Yeah.
So Tommy, and I used to hate him in training actually, friggin' some shot stopper.
Yeah.
So definitely him in goals. I'd say Giggles just for the banter as a backup, but he didn't make the cut.
Giggles.
Big gigs. Left back, I'd actually go this geezer that I played against some pretty good guys, and I was never like really scared of anyone. But this guy Scott Miller, who played for Perth Glory back in the day when Perth Glory used to just absolutely kill teams. Scott Miller.
Yeah.
So like generally, if I was not the best kicker, I was always faster and generally fitter. But this dude, man, was just as quick and freaking if not fitter. And I used to hate playing against him because usually I could just run a dude for 80 minutes and then he'd either get subbed or just have enough.
Yeah.
This dude, I'd be looking around trying to find him because he used to smash me. So definitely pick him.
Yeah.
Right back, I'd actually go a guy called David Tarker, who he's actually a left footer, but a good buddy of mine. He was under 20s. He played for Perth Glory as well.
Yeah.
A couple of Socceroos caps. I actually lived with him for a bit when I was at Knights because he was playing for Forest. Freaking good in the air, good ping on him as well. So I'd go big Tarks. Centre backs, I'd actually go big Lubo, which I know some people get offside about.
I'm a big fan of that selection.
Big Milicevic because, and that, again, probably my AIS bias a little bit there is, like, there's not many centre backs that can dribble out from the back and have that little friggin', I'll go for a little mazy up the field and maybe get it on the end of a cross.
Going on an adventure.
They put the handbrake on because they got to be in position. But again, like, probably rocked the boat a little bit, but good banter in there. Another centre back. Three at the back. No one goes three at the back anymore, man. It's too risky. I'll go Hensley, man, because one of those dudes, like, you need them in your team. We're just a chopper by trade, but like same on the footy field. Like just would run through a freaking brick wall. You know he's always turning up. Pops up with the goals when you need him to. Does his own haircuts.
and does listen to the show. That's it. Sport on this
Big
week.
fan.
Big fan of the show.
Henna's,
just not a big fan of coming on them.
Definitely Henna's, man. He was a freaking machine. I probably would go in midfield big Matty because me and him since under 12s we've had that little competitive midget battle. But obviously, Socceroo and all that kind of stuff, so we'd stick him in there.
Tucking his shirt in.
I'd actually... Yeah, I mean, I'd love to say I'd stick Mooney in there, but Mooney, you're slow as a house, mate. It doesn't matter how good your pings are. Scotty, I don't pick you as well because can only turn right, with his right foot to the left, so he's not passing that to the right wing. I'm allowed to pick myself in this or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely stick myself out on the right. I need another midfielder. Actually, I'll go Shay Hughes, man. Another one of my buddies, but man, he played at Strikers first couple of years. Not only is one of the best looking dudes in soccer and won that NSL with the Strikers, but he was a joy to play with. He had the vision because a lot of players don't have that vision to find the wingers and getting stuck out there being an angry little South African. You need the ball, so definitely Hughesy. So what have we got there? We've got forward the back.
That selection's not going to cause a drama on the next night out with all the boys, is it?
Don't worry about that. Mooney doesn't come on nights out anyway. So we need a left winger and 2 strikers, Broski up front, 100%. One of the best players. Like sometimes, like I mean, he's done obviously amazing.
Yes.
A-League and all that, but some guys you don't know why they get the raps that they get until you train with them. That dude, like the skinniest little freaking dude ever, but you could not get the ball off him. And he didn't do gym. He'd freaking sit in the corner and do whatever, but just a freaking good soccer player. So definitely him up front. Actually, I'll go a weird one up front. So I actually played with a dude called Stephen Oakes, who I think he played for Leicester back in the day, maybe, but he was at Notts County when I was there. So I'll stick him in the 10 because you don't usually have those, but man, that dude could turn in like a sort of stocky big unit, but could turn on a 2-cent piece and could just ping a ball for fun. So I enjoyed playing with him. He was good banter as well.
Yeah.
And then what do I need?
A left winger.
A lefty. Flop. You've got to stick on. I'm going to forget someone here and then drive home and go.
Yeah,
we did that
too. Yeah.
Far out. Who? Actually, I'll go a weird one. So this guy I played with at Tom Shelford. I played with him at Tamworth.
Yeah.
Same deal, man. Just could whip a ball in. There's good left footers, and then there's guys that just for some reason just have that whip, and could not kick with his right foot. Drank way too many beers and was always at the back of the pack. But put him on a free kick, put him on out wide, just would whip him in for fun.
Yeah.
So he was good banter as well. But
That's my kind of player right there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Back of the pack, just
I mean, it was nuts. I remember getting all my clothes taken off me. They actually put kangaroo stickers all over my car at Tamworth. Made me sing. We used to play every Thursday. We'd play circle ball, but legit. There's no stepping out the circle or that one where you got to get. And the 3 worst players, which were just randomly selected by the coach.
Yeah.
Then the team would vote, and you either had to buy everyone lunch, which was freaking a lot, or you'd have to sing. And I just remember, I actually froze, man. I got halfway through the Australian anthem and then forgot all the words. But again, the most uncomfortable, but also that togetherness as a team. We were mingers in conference, but I enjoyed it. Playing, I've got to play at bloody under 20 World Cups, all this kind of stuff. Some of the best memories are going to bloody Blythe Spartans in the sideways freaking freezing rain.
It's the drug capital of the northeast.
That's it, man. So just run to the bus, but
avoid the needles on the pitch.
But that's it. But I for sure forgot someone in that 11 anyway.
Yeah, it'll come to you in the car on the way home.
Yeah,
as it did with us. In fact, it didn't. It was the next guest come on. So he'll have been a shoe in, and we were like, oh.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah.
It's hard. There's been a few good players.
There's been a lot. Only 11 spots. We did all right.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm happy you picked Tom Willis, but because
it validates your decision.
I mean,
No, he was a good lad.
We picked Borey and got the nod over him in the NPL.
It was MPL. It was MPL.
Yeah, okay.
So.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, from what I've seen in the NPL, Borean, yes, he can do some mad things. I think it's just that supreme self-confidence, or maybe it's a facade because he's not, but he will drop one in the net, or he will get beaten at halfway and they score a goal. But the thing is, man, that dude's worth at least 15 points in the season for everything else he does.
That's pretty much
And sometimes
why.
all that crazy stuff he does, and wearing a freaking beanie and headscarf and whatever, and a lollipop in the that freaking puts other teams off. Do you know what I mean? People start getting wrapped up in trying to
But it
gets
I
people
read this
talking
the other
about
day,
it as well.
It's completely opposite, but it's kind of. Someone wrote an article and they were saying that Jurgen Klopp, when the teams are warming up, he leaves his teams warm up because he's obviously got this, and he just goes and stands, arms folded, just watches the other team for 3 minutes, and all the other players they're kind of looking.
Yeah, what's he
it
doing?
must be off-putting.
Yeah.
Someone just standing.
South's coach did that to us on Friday night.
Yeah,
I just found it weird.
It was weird. It wasn't very off-putting.
Did you?
I just stood
How'd that go?
So
we got beat to
Yeah, there you go.
So if you did that to us, I wouldn't think anything of it. Cause
Yeah,
but really,
what's Eminem doing over there watching this?
it does rattle him.
Yeah.
Give us a bar.
It does rattle. I mean, I did probably the opposite. That used to motivate me. I remember Kevin, before he came to Strikers, obviously Sunny Coast were a decent side. He used to wind me up every game, just yappity, Welsh yappity from the sideline. And then I just remember putting one top bin with my left foot, and I ran like the whole pitch just to give it the well up in front of him.
Would Kev come close in the coach debate?
Yeah, I really like. It's funny, man. I've been so lucky. Like I had Ange at under 20s, and like he's a freaking amazing coach. Hence why he's done so well. Graham Arnold was assistant there as well. Sometimes I look back and go like, freaking hell.
Straight away,
the two Socceroos coaches.
When Northern Spirit signed me, I went over to Rangers for like 6 months. Ali McCoist was the youth team coach, well, under 23s coach then. Legends of the game. Laurie McKenna, like he was great. Frank a little bit. I was at Raw while Frank was there, but obviously not signed. He was pretty good. But yeah, local league like Stu McLaren was there, the first year strikers. I really enjoyed him and a bit old school. And then Kev, but like I did really enjoy Kev.
Yeah.
I think like he sort of understood me a little bit, which helps. I've had other coaches like largely at times, getting older and knowing what my body needs and trying to make you fit in a square peg because examples for everyone else. And I suppose it only took till I was 27, 28 or close to 30 to realise like not everyone is the same. Like I don't need a freaking 50-minute warm up, and so Kev was like really awesome like that.
Yeah.
Where given that little bit of freedom as long as you did the work. And I think that's a big thing where some coaches get bogged down in like, oh, you have to be doing this or you have to be doing that. I think if you can just make sure that someone's doing the work but then trust them to like either get you the goal or do this, where not everyone is going to be the same. And I think too many coaches get stuck in trying to make everyone the same, where Kev was like, okay, well you do that as long as you're doing this. I'll stick to watching that. And I mean, I haven't spoken to him in a long time, but he's someone that I could easily, go have a barbecue with, where some of the other ones I'll probably struggle. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, geez, some of those coaches that I had.
There's a fair few to pick from there.
Yeah, so I'll give it to Kev because he was there when I really finished. I would say Mooney as well, but
everyone's picking.
I didn't really get coach.
Everyone's picking Mooney.
But no, I'd go Kev. I'd go Kev because good guy, and I mean, freaking
successful.
He was probably the first dude I phoned and said, by the way, I'm done playing because I'm about to have heart surgery.
Yeah.
And I mean, thought I was joking, but it's like,
crazy.
No, I wasn't. But
look, that's it's been a good chat.
Very good.
Enjoyable.
Yeah, very enjoyable.
Yeah, sorry if I gibbered.
No. Little bit of politics, little bit of
bit of everything.
Humour.
It hasn't really been covered too much, like from someone that's been in that position of like.
We've all got our opinions.
Like we've had similar opinions, but coming from obviously yourself, that's a pretty high standard of footballer in Queensland.
Yeah, and you'll never know all the ins and outs that like administration's got to go through. But I mean, obviously seeing some of the stuff there, and you see how much some people are getting paid to be in these offices. It's like we are still amateur, and a lot of it is to do with the amateur. Where I don't know, you got some great people there, and I think Johnny McCain's doing a great job, and he works with the PFA. But
I think Johnny's pushing it, and he's starting to try
he's getting there.
Change.
Yeah, he's getting there. But there's a lot of old heads stuck in old ways, and a little bit of still that Brisbane football.
We've got a couple of positives. Mooney's head coach of the A-League franchise.
Yeah.
Johnny's in there.
Yeah. And Mooney's more than happy to give Queenslanders a go, which I think is a big one. But
give him a full pre-season. Let's see what he can do, eh?
Yeah, hopefully he can sign some players. That's going to be a tough one. At least they got the Champions League carrot there.
But bit of a lure.
Snuck in.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks for coming in. I know you've had a bit of a trek, but...
Yeah, back down the coast. Hopefully make it there for the grand final.
Coast to coast.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's another one. Moved to the coast thought I'd be stuck in Brisbane trying to coach on the 15s, but moved to the beach and maybe do some five-a-side beach soccer.
Sounds so much better.
I'll still injure myself that
beach
way.
at Redcliffe, John.
Actually, I grew up. I went to school just here in Rothwell. So,
did you?
Yeah, Muir College.
That's where my kids go,
Yeah, good school, man. I mean, freaking good school now, actually. None of that stuff was there, but Old Peninsula, it's a bit different now.
It's a bit too religious for my life. Kids are telling us about God in the car on the way home. I'm like, don't want to believe all that, kids.
That's funny, man.
They'll learn.
Yeah.
They'll learn.
All right, well, we'll be back with another episode probably in about a week's time. But thanks again.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, mate.